I didn't print the other one. Oh, good job. Oh, I got it. The recording, so behave.
Okay. We'll try. Does anybody have any additions, corrections to the minutes?
Oh, wait.
All right, Pat moves to accept. And I will second. Yeah. Okay, the president's report. All right, this is not a report, this is a question. or
Do you
something.
do these minutes now too, or we're gonna do that at the next meeting? We do this at the next building meeting.
Oh, the building committee minutes.
Oh, you have to do that now?
Well, we can do it at the, yeah,
At
they
the
can do it.
building
right?
committee, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay,
Forget what I said.
excellent. There's a problem that we had in the past, and now we've had it again, with somebody scamming my email.
Yeah,
And I got Pat.
I got an email from you in the first one. I had it before and I just missed it,
Yeah.
I think. And then this time it said, hey, I need you to do something.
Me too.
And then I replied, and then I got something that said, I need Target gift card.
Yes,
And
I
I'll
know,
pay
because I was like, oh my God, I hope
you. And I'm
everybody
like,
doesn't
no,
scam
that's
this.
just to me.
Yeah, and I have to tell you that
Yeah,
if I really wanted to contact you, I would try to get your phone number and text you.
Right.
Email it to me is awkward. You can text so much easier. And
Yeah.
so I would prefer that if I'm gonna,
and
I'm doing email for
Yeah.
business, but for just a personal call. I
Right.
mean, to say, are you available? I'd like to talk to you or something like that. you know.
well, first of all, an email saying I need help today is
Yeah,
not very effective because people don't.
Check their email every day.
Yeah. And I did ask, I think I asked you, Pat, or maybe it was you, about where up at the top where it says the person's email that it's coming from.
Yeah.
It didn't say my email.
No.
It comes up as your name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once I went
Yeah.
back the second time and clicked on that part, and it's like, okay, that's not her.
No,
Yeah.
it's not my-
It didn't even come to me.
Yeah, well, I
So-
don't know what your email
You're
is.
missing out.
So you would know.
Yeah,
It's just-
it was one Gmail thing, I think, wasn't that one? I don't, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
does
it's,
anybody know, what can we do about that?
You can't do anything.
How can
Like
we go?
social media and technology beware. I think that's where we are. It's kind of like, what do you do about a virus? You wash your hands and use hand sanitizer and use your brain.
yeah, never got one too.
Yeah,
It was just all of us that got it.
yeah.
Yeah, but no, I don't believe I got it.
Sally, did you get a phony email from me, supposedly from me?
She's not on there.
She is, but
Where
she.
is it?
So
It might
she's
be a
connecting
Was that
to-
to Shar?
No, it wasn't to Sharp.
Okay.
Sue Culver had like I don't know, some kind of a hacked email situation, and it went to
Oh, no.
all the trustees in the room, and they were asking Sally if she received one of those. And we,
But
Okay.
Sally, just a second ago.
Sally's the
connecting
iPhone.
to audio.
Yeah.
So now she must be there.
but,
Here.
so I
Can you
don't know,
hear me?
Sally, if you got that email from Sue, but if you got an email that was asking for Target gift cards, it was fraudulent. Is what she's saying.
I didn't see an email on that, but that doesn't mean it wasn't there. Right?
Okay, well,
But,
when you check back in your email and see it, say, no.
I know she never called me Patricia, so.
There was, yeah, there was no, it didn't make any sense, because like I said, I responded to the first one, and then I got the one after, in the grammar of the sentence,
Yeah.
it was like, I will pay you.
Something,
I'll pay you.
yeah.
Mine was like, I'll pay you after I get out of this meeting late
Yeah, because
tonight.
you had said,
Oh, mine was.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was a weird wording, and I'm like, no,
Mine just
she would
didn't
never.
figure it out. Like, oh,
Right.
I don't think we have that kind of relationship that you
Yeah.
send me an email asking me to go to the Target. In an email, that's.
It's
weird.
so awful. It is so awful. I find social media exhausting too.
no, I probably won't email you.
Okay.
But wait, I mean, I'm supposed to send a paper around for, cell phone numbers.
Or
something
if
like
I
that,
did,
too.
it would be part of, emailing everybody on board at the same time and saying something
Right.
about,
Is anybody available to help or something? Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna send anybody a personal email.
no, you told me on the
Okay,
phone
good.
about it. Yes.
Right, I was
Fine,
fine.
kind of.
So, there we go.
All right.
That's the end of that, but somebody's enjoying it because it happened last year and now it happened again. And,
Well, it happens all the time.
yeah.
I see that. It happens on like Facebook. You'll get
Yes,
another
I got-
Facebook
I
request
know.
from people and all kinds of.
yeah.
garbage.
And that one, I think is mostly harmless.
People are, well, kind of, yeah, but you
Yeah,
never
this
know.
one says, I will reimburse you later in the night.
Oh, right.
Come to my house in the night.
Absolutely, I'm gonna run and drop the cash. Oh, my goodness. Well, anyway, ignore it, or call somebody, wherever you go, and check you and say, fix this. Okay, done with that. Financial reports. We have the expenditure and revenues reports for September.
Yeah.
Did anyone go to the Robert's Rules of Order thing?
I meant to.
Well, it was riveting. But one of the things that they said in was that you can make, if there's nothing being discussed, you can make one motion. Like, for example, we could make the motion for, like, we could confirm it in another, like, I can look back. But my takeaway was, we could confirm this and that and the change, it was not just stated,
Yeah.
but you can make one
Make a
motion
bundle, like.
and,
that's-
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless there's something like, are we gonna, something that we're going to, are we gonna tear down the house
Yeah,
next door? That's
Yeah,
discussion.
school board meeting.
Yeah.
In town, and I've been to those. They have a group, I don't remember how they call it, but items 1 through 15.
Yeah.
Just expected to be one motion.
Right.
then at the
there's generally
beginning,
no contention. If there
anybody-
is, somebody can say
And
something.
then in the beginning of the meeting, the board members are asked if they want to take anything out of that
Oh,
for discussion. Because the
Okay.
board members get everything like we do ahead of time.
right.
So then you could say,
Right.
I request item number 4 be removed from
Right.
whatever the terminology
The quick-
is,
The quick moving thing.
for discussion,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
do that.
Because the strict Robert Rule of Order, you know, it's for Congress or something.
Well, this was Robert's rule.
It is Robert's rule.
And
you
they
know.
said that you can do it all at once, so we could, I don't know how to say it, or if you can say, it. It's just one motion, basically
No, I
you
know.
make
But
one
I have a
motion.
book on
Yeah,
Robert's
all
rule.
of it.
Those are for groups where their things are not major contentious.
Yeah,
You gotta pay the bill.
They're procedures.
Just say it.
Okay.
Really,
right.
it's only 2 items.
Great, technically, because I think we have to highlight that,
Oh.
right? We have to highlight the resolution number 4.
Yeah, resolution.
So that's all 4 of them. I mean, it's just, these are not really things for discussion.
No.
These are, it's a procedure to go through.
Right, and the board member always has the option to remove it.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
Question or
Those
something.
do.
and it's obviously assumed that you get the documents before the meeting, so
Yeah.
that you get a chance to read it over, or whatever you do.
So you could make the motion, because I think you, you're running this meeting.
Okay.
You would make the motion to, as they're listed, right? Oh, I don't have 3 things listed because I didn't bother to put, see, I do the financial. And I didn't realize that there was the expenditures report revenue, but then there's also
So there's 4.
resolution 4.
Yeah.
So there's 4.
I only see 3. Are there 4 things? I guess if you were talking about the minutes too, but
Okay, so what do you want
I think what could
to
happen
say?
is
Make a motion to pass or to
It's that.
accept all the items in all the pieces of item 5.
Or financial.
Yeah.
you could, but we'd have to add resolution number 4 in there.
Okay.
In,
So that's. your
so
procedure.
so when Pam does it, she'll write the motion being the expenditures and expenditures and
yes.
revenues reports for September 2022, resolution number 4,
Right.
an abstract of claims dated October 11 through November 8.
So I still gotta write it.
But she does.
Yeah.
But you don't have to
But
vote
it's
on it
only
3 times.
one- it's only one motion,
You
one
know what, 'cause
second.
it's busy work. Yeah.
Right?
A lot of. the
I've been
things-
thinking about that, and then
a
we
lot of
said it in the
things
meeting.
That feel like they should be routed through rules of order are busy work in
Mhm.
a group like this, where like you said, you can't argue about paying the bill.
But Robert said this is okay.
Yeah, I'll look into, I have a Robert's Rules handbook at home. I will look into it and see what the terminology is.
Yes,
and
okay.
then
Good, okay.
so we can get it.
So I will say-
correctly.
Okay.
That I will, that we accept the 3 items under the fact.
Four, I don't.
Well, we already did the minutes.
Oh, the minutes already did, that already
No,
happened.
I thought you said the.
I almost think it could.
Resolution number
No,
4.
resolution number 4.
No,
Right, but it's the fourth one we've done this year. That's why it's number 4.
Resolution.
So there's 3 items,
This,
but resolution number
the
4.
expended revenue. and- Okay, that's okay.
yeah, and the
And-
abstracted claims is $65,889.31.
It's all recorded.
Okay.
You want to write all that down?
I,
You bet you.
I think that we accept, that we have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, so. And the director's report.
Okay. Okay, so I was up for COVID, worked remotely, so that was, you guys kind of were aware of that one. The Rotary had a chicken barbecue on Sunday, October 16th, that was successful. The library purchased an Aaron snow blower, that was a big deal, so there was a year-long discussion of what to do. Do we get a new John Deere? Do we do this, that, and the other thing? And we decided, and I talked to Readers down the road, it's Rick Pugh owns Readers. And I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
so Rick, you own the library, well, not own the library, but if you were the director of the library, what would you do? And this is the same advice he gave us. We have an Aaron snow blower because he's like, it's the best. I said, okay.
It's good.
Right, you know, and because, and then we're going to keep the John Deere longer to mow the lawn and do that kind of thing, because it's okay. It's getting a little older, but that could be fixed. But the snow blower wasn't good. So that was a purchase we've been talking about a long time. I told you about it a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago. Okay, Kellen was here, or well, I met with Kellen's professor who supervises her internship, and she was lovely. It was cute. She said, oh, I didn't know if we should have her come to the library. I don't know if that was the right thing to do, but it's human services. And she said, the more I thought about it, the better I thought it was a good idea. So she loves libraries, and she was here chatting with us. They give you to deposit. I just put it down because I claim mileage on that. So it's and we have to do it, and it's something we have to do at least twice a month, and people like to see that. So when we're audited, it's kind of in there. But that's why I wrote it down, because you think, really, oh, why do you care? Why do we care? You went to the bank, and I just do that because I think it's something that needs to be
It makes the
recorded
audit
somewhere,
okay.
right? It needs to be put in writing somewhere. Okay, Christine and I went to the leather stocking conference, which is nice. We see some fewer and fewer of the school librarians that I used to know. But the Whitesboro librarians were there, which was nice to see, and collaborations happen. Christine has already set up a visit with, I believe, Wendy's group. We work a lot with Elizabeth Carroll already, and Wendy does bring her crew in too. So that's happening in the next month or so. I saw Christina sent out an email. I worked at Catholic Charities event at Utica Public Library, and we're doing some things with Catholic Charities too. It kind of gives this give back. There was this give back promotion of public libraries doing things with the community, and it's in a way it's community outreach because people feel good about that. So we also made some connections from that. We had our building committee, Books of Our Lives. Pam and I take part in that. It's quite lovely. It's a robust discussion. It's just so interesting. It's a bunch of ladies and poor Peter. We apologize to him all the time. You know, I said, except you. And then it's been wow, everything happens when it's the fall because everybody wants to get things in before the snow flies. So Rotary has a pin down polio event, and that was at Vista Lanes, and that was with many Rotary clubs. So that was with our club, but then Utica, New Hartford's quite. I think that's all that there was. So I should know how much money we raised. What about polio?
I mean, it's kind of over. What was?
It's not quite over. There was a couple, at least one case in Rockland County, New York.
Because now
So,
people are.
We're
not
trying to
there.
eradicate it, trying. It's a thing that Rotarians are really into, and the thing is, whatever you raise, the Gates Foundation will match. So I should know what we raised. I think it was like $4,000, but then it turned into $8,000 for providing vaccine. Yeah.
Publicizing it probably.
Oh, yeah. All that.
Because the people who don't have it, you know, the big publicity.
You don't even think, what? Like
You know, that
smallpox. You can't get
nobody
smallpox.
thinks about it now, but
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
polio anymore.
Mhm. There's like, I wanna say like Afghanistan and
Oh, yeah,
Uzbekistan, but only two. It's like, really, the rest of the world doesn't have it. And the fact that it came in Rockland County, New York, I mean, worldwide, there's very few cases really. But they want to continue.
People travel constantly.
People do
And then we have
travel.
the military,
Yeah,
and they're supposed to be all vaccinated, but who knows if they really are.
I imagine that they are, but then you could have people from whatever, that never got vaccinated. But the thing is, if you're in right here, and everybody around you has been vaccinated, how are you gonna get it?
Yeah.
Right, how are you gonna get it?
And it, yeah,
Nobody has it.
and it's not gonna come from polluted water, we're.
No.
Yep. The what?
Polluted water.
Sewage in the water.
Oh,
That's not
That's how it
area.
travels.
Anyway. And then there's, mosquitoes bring malaria. All right, let's see, effective meetings utilize, oh, there it is, parliamentary procedure. Not Robert's rule. Okay,
Well,
same,
it
though.
is.
It's the same.
Parliamentary procedure is Robert's.
Is Robert's rules. Okay, perfect. And then Anita Herkimer, I did the survey for Anita Herkimer Community Foundation. So, we're going across their desk again. And then Jamie Vale, April, we met to the snowshoes. Then I sent this, just FYI, you don't have to vote on this or anything, because this is just kind of procedure, not policy. But I thought, well, it's new, and maybe you might want to know when somebody stops and says in the grocery store, so I hear you're, circulating snowshoes, and I don't want you to go, what? Why did somebody tell me? So we have, you can see what we have. It's pretty cool. I wanna check some out. It's not unusual. There are many libraries that do this. Jervis does this. We stole this procedural thing and tweaked a little bit,
Well,
the way you do
we
things.
should all be sharing like the,
Right?
somebody told me they were going to the Wild Center. I'm like, you can get a discount, get at the library and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I put on Facebook that I did a puzzle that I borrowed from the library.
You go, Pam. I have fear of Facebook.
It's in that, it's in that handbook, to do some PR.
Pat does it. Pat does my Facebook. So if you ever see something from Pat, the Pat message is from me. Well, it's from Pat.
I'll be very suspicious if I get a messenger,
Yeah.
a thing in messenger from you.
You
Because
should. Because Pat will say, I'm writing on behalf of April or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing anything but that.
April.
Yeah.
Was it, what's that?
You want to see it? No shit.
They're doing what?
We're renting, I don't believe rent.
We snowshoes.
Oh, where?
Snowshoes. So families
What do
can,
you mean, so it's like boots?
like, they connect to your boots.
You don't need special boots.
They're not like skis.
I mean, it's not like
There's-
we're going to the left of it.
Yeah.
It's gonna go,
Right.
people are gonna go around.
Right.
So anyone can come and.
Yeah.
and borrow snowshoes.
And it's just like, I think they sign it saying, you know what, you could get hurt doing this.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, but I love, we're going, so like the ski.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
and it shows the sizes, and then they have a chart so that people can just say, I need size, whatever. Like, we're not gonna say what's your height and weight, we're gonna ask you what size you need. No, well, we're gonna check out the tablet.
They lot.
Oh dear, I don't know, does it say on there? We have a,
Now, we bought those?
we did. We bought them last year, actually. We bought them at when, like March or whatever, when you couldn't go snowshoeing anymore. It was the end of season sale.
Yeah, so how does it work out? Does anyone come and?
Not yet, because we haven't started yet.
Oh, okay.
And we bought the bags, so we can store them and they can take them. We
So
needed
it's
to
all
make it
sizes?
all sizes. Yeah, we have adult, well, I don't know. We have adult sizes, youth sizes, kid size, depending on the kind.
Mhm.
So Jamie's more the person to ask about that. I just said, yeah, that makes sense.
What else do you need?
Where do you know?
So what else do you need? Nothing.
Warm clothes.
No, I mean, you don't need any other. No.
No, and some people will take the ski poles
Right.
and some people won't,
Yeah.
depending on who you
Do
are.
we have-
We have some. We have all that you would need. You don't need helmets or anything, just,
No.
you know, it's just walking.
Right.
Anyway, it's been a work in progress. We've been talking about this a good year. Because Jamie said, can we do this? I said, yes, but we have to find a space for them to be stored. Storage is a big deal around here. So they made a spot in the basement. And the elevator door opens, we moved everything out of there. Herman, Sean moved their cleaning supplies farther into the basement. I said, you guys aren't scared of the basement. But some of the staff are gonna be like, "What?" I said, no, if they walk out of the elevator door, it's well lit, it's in the newer part,
Yeah.
you don't go into the old part of the basement, it's just because it's the elevator room. And we're hanging them there, and then they can dry and all that. But then you have to talk about, well, who's gonna go get it? It's like everything you
How
do,
long can they keep them?
well, I think 2 weeks.
Oh.
But don't quote me on that, it might be that. I should know more.
I'm anxious to see. how-
Okay, I can go find that out for you,
To go, to
so,
It says for a period of 1 week.
thank you.
All
right. So apparently you could take them for a week.
I know, I used to go across.
Yeah, me too. It's more fun than.
All right, so that's
Yeah,
good.
right.
Jamie, we all did that, and okay, so we did meet, this is the Kathleen from Munson Williams and Ryan from CLRC, and I met about the grants to plan for the tablets. Well, then I found out that day that they were gonna, Kathleen was unable to do it, and the educator at Munson Williams changed jobs, and so Kathleen was gonna she did try to pick up the ball, but she couldn't do that. So it ended up that Kathleen brought these to me, the Monday or Tuesday before Nyla, she brought them to the library, and then I left and they sat there in my office. So I met today with Mark from CLRC, and he said, just start circulating them best you can. It is a grant that was written, and it had to have a museum partner and a library partner. And what we're going to do, I was talking to Mark about it, so Pam heard some of this. We have 10 of these. They have like rugged cases that have straps, so that it's the most durable case you can buy. We bought the tablets that have parental control, so we have the ability. So the 12th time that tablet comes back with inappropriate pictures still on it, then we might say, now the camera's gonna just shut off. But that kind of thing. So we have the ability to say, no, you can't download things to this or whatever. But we are going to start. There's a lot of wonderful things we can do with tablets. We could take a Van Gogh painting and we can turn it into a coloring sheet, and then they can paint it in and they can color it. All kinds of things can happen, but we're just gonna trim it right down and say, okay, this circulates. When it circulates, it's gonna have a document on it that explains why they have the right to take this home for a week or whatever. And it was because of ARPA funding and the collaboration between Dunham Public Library and Munson Williams Proctor Art Institute. We will put a shortcut for our website, shortcut for Munson Williams website, Google, and the Libby app, so they can download books to it, so people could look at magazines and do that kind of thing. But we didn't pay anything for these. I know at least, the grant was for 5,800 or something, which I'm sure these didn't cost that much, but there was more to it.
do here?
We have 10 of these. I didn't bring them, this is a box. But we just today, I emailed
Mid-York, they created a mark record, which is what you see in a catalog, and it'll say that this tablet's here, we'll put in some information explaining what it is, and, we'll do a press release, we're hoping for next Tuesday, we'll send the information out, then we would start circulating them on Wednesday, but you know, like this snowshoe thing, like, there's a lot that goes into it, so how long does it go, how much is it, has to be put, once now we have the catalog record.
So how old do you have to be to pick it up?
I don't know, good question. Jewett says they have to go out on an adult card, can it go out on a kid's card? We don't know yet. Probably an adult card.
Adult card. I would think.
Just because, I mean, I don't think DVDs can go out on a kid's card either, you know, just because, well, they're not that costly, but we had an issue, we had some family card, what would happen is all the kids would take out the maximum amount of DVDs and all the adults would take out the maximum amount and they were leaving with the stack.
Yeah.
So, anyway, oh my gosh. Ellen Roxon was just livid about this. She said, we have to do something. That's why policy's created, because somebody drives
Somebody
crazy.
tries something and yeah.
And then you guys, actually everyone was there for the ribbon cutting. And Sally knows that it happened because I sent her a picture. And Kim and I attended Nyla and it was just delightful, I have to say. I was, you know, I thought, oh, I'll go, it'll be good to see people, but you know, they always have a futuristic thinking person who does the keynote and you're like, oh yeah, lofty. But then it kept resonating through the whole conference, you know, the founding fathers, she said, and mothers, created something that never existed before. So go out and create something that never existed before. You know, what have you got to lose?
Yeah.
And, you know, you tried, right? And it was good. And then there was someone who spoke of a lot of, it was Back to the Future was the name of it, but obviously there's diversity, equity, inclusion topics going through. So I thought that it was fun. I was standing in the lobby and Chris Saugus from Utica Public was there and we're chatting about this construction grant. He said, you know what to do. And I said, I guess maybe. And he has this little issue that he calls it a moat between the parking lot and the library's basement level. And he said, it's a mess. So we're chatting about it. And then somebody walks by and I know she is the person who does construction grants in the North Country. So I'm talking to John and talking to Chris and between them, it was just a synergistic thing. It was awesome. And Kim being there was fun because I'm here and then this is all new to her.
Yeah.
And she's listening because I go to the DAC meetings and I talk to all these people, but she doesn't do that. I need to send other people besides me to DAC meetings. And then we went to the SU reception because they let you come at 5:30. They give you like hors d'oeuvres and stuff. And she said, oh my gosh, she's my professor. I've never met her before because they're online and they're videos. And so she's meeting people and some of the students that were in her class were also there. And she had never really sat in the same room with them either. And Laura Halls Anderson, which some of you may know from Speak and Dames of Independence, she did something girls, like it's not Withering, something girls. Anyway, she writes stories that are not as often as now were banned or tried to be banned or challenged. But she said, you know, 10 years ago, these weren't really even, I was on the 60th challenge. Now I'm like in the top 10 because everything's being challenged. So she does write a lot about sexual abuse and just abuse and things of that nature that are difficult to read. They're difficult reads, but she does historical stuff too. And she did a great talk at the end because we're all like, you know, the banned book and we're all sad and it's like, oh my gosh, insurmountable. But she just kind of scaffolded it. And by the end, we're like ready to go out and fight for intellectual freedom and the freedom of speech. So she was great. She said, you know, we've all got Uncle Charlie. We've got to reach out to Uncle Charlie, you know, and get along. So I found it fun and I just had to write most of that stuff because I received a $350 grant to go from CLRC. So I had to write and tell them how wonderful that opportunity was.
Sounds great.
And what else have we got? I wrote about the ribbon cutting at the bottom that you spoke and who showed up. So
Very good.
you know about that? And I have a few other things that are not necessarily in the report. I told you about the ARPA thing. And maybe, let's see. I need to figure out how to send you the additional reports. I feel like sometimes the core things you need for the meeting, I don't want to clutter. So what I might do is just like a week later, send you the youth, sometimes I do, send you to the youth report, and I send you the calendar of events, and I send you the adult services and the statistical report. And I thought, okay, you know, I have to read that for the board meeting, but maybe it's interesting. So I'll send it a separate email, so it doesn't get cluttered. And, oh, professional development day, which appeared on the last, so I don't know if that would be in new business, old business, or part of the director's
We
report.
talked about professional development day. That
We
there
did.
Would be one coming up.
There is, and we've decided it should be January 13th.
That's old business.
It's a Friday. We'll put it under old business, we'll come back.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's next.
Yeah.
January.
We're
13th.
moving on to old business. So January 13th will close. We'll try to figure something else out about how the few things I wrote down somewhere on a list that, oh, here it is. I knew I wrote it down somewhere. We're thinking of team building, something to do with that, to get people to work together. So we will try to encourage, well, we do work together.
Work together.
We have new people, we have a lot of part-time people, and we're gonna try to get all the part-time people that are available on Friday to come. And if they can't, then, you know, we're not gonna, people have lives. But we might talk to them about the tablets, even though we'll probably start circulating before that, but, you know, just FYI. Just make sure everybody knows how to use Libby. I think they do, but there might be a few stragglers. And self-care kind of came up at the conference that, you know, that was Laura Halls Anderson. She said, just remember, you know how they tell you when you're flying an airplane, to take care of yourself first, or you can't help others. So there's a lot of stress still. You know, we're great. Actually, I think everybody's doing well. Of course, maybe they don't tell me everything. Usually somebody will tell me, somebody will come up and say, there's grumbling. So, no, we deal, but for the most part, everybody works pretty well together. But those are the things we're thinking about, and we don't have anything seriously concrete yet. But you know, there's even TED Talks. I said we don't have to go crazy and get somebody in.
No,
But we'll figure something out.
how about, maybe 5 or 10 minutes for what you had said about, coming up with something brand new that no one's ever done.
Right? Well, let's
I mean,
do
I-
visionary stuff. No, no, thank you.
Little, I mean, however short you, whatever short time you have, but if everybody had 5 minutes to write something down.
What if?
Yeah.
What
You
do
know.
they see? Maybe what do they see in the library world at least 5 years from now? You know, and we did that.
What would they like to see?
Yeah, have a sticky note, everybody have a sticky note, and write down.
And write it
5
down
ideas,
rather than
2
to
ideas.
yell out. Some people are quiet and they'll say anything. Some people like me and they'll say anything. Kevin's like, oh my God, April. So we sit down at these tables at the conferences, you know, and then I'd say, oh, where are you from? Da-da-da-da. And then somebody else sit down and say, where are you from? And I'd introduce myself and I, you know, can we introduce you? You don't have to know everybody here. Sweet,
Yeah.
you know.
It's good to do what people, because otherwise, you know,
It's stale.
the people that are highly trained think in a certain channel, because that's their training and that's their, I mean, your or mine or anybody else's.
Yeah.
And in order to move out of that channel, you
Silo
sometimes have to
rut.
get ideas from people. I mean, there's lots of people working here who are not librarians
Exactly.
or have no intention of becoming librarians. They're working part-time while they go to college, or they're working
Right.
for a little bit extra money or whatever.
Mhm.
And so their ideas could be outrageous,
They
They
were
could be
fun,
fun.
because we did
Yeah.
this,
but you know,
gosh, did we do it as much as 5 years ago? We might have. Remember when we started this plan
yeah.
with Paul Mays? And we
Yes,
invited
yeah.
him in and we just brainstormed what would be fun. I know
Yeah.
Joan said we should have a drive-up window. We really should, but
Yeah.
we can't
I know.
pull that off.
But I
Just
can
think
tell,
about that'd be
I
fun.
mean, the stuff that he talked about is still in my
Right.
head, when I talk about being in the 21st century.
Yeah.
He did all those slides on what libraries used to be like,
Mhm.
and still are in some cases. Or they have pieces of that left. you know, and training, I mean, I'm sure you know, and the rest of you too, that specific training to be a librarian, to be a nurse, to be a teacher, whatever, is fairly narrow. You get one or two things out to the side, but the rest of it is how to. And which is good, you need those things, but you also need to be able to bring in things from other areas.
Yeah, no, I like that part. Let's all spend some time on that, because in a way, it's just, let's just be
And
crazy.
think about the program we did this year, where we had 900 people come and complain. You know, that was a new program.
Oh, you missed it.
Story
And look how well.
The
it
pride
worked out.
story time.
I know, we could have done a workshop at night, tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have been happy to say, next, thank you. Next.
You guys
thank you.
handled it so well, so well, because I
A lot of
thought
complainers came out.
it was, because we shared that a little bit, you know, at our table, just. Because the conversations I had with so many people, and I was just like, wow, I'm not gonna get through to you. And he said, I'm wearing men's clothes, you could argue. Button down shirt, pair of trousers, and no makeup, no jewelry. Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Why is that okay? It's hard though, it's a process. It's a process for all of us.
People
to-
are scared.
Yeah, they are, changes.
People are scared of anything different, and they can't think it too, it's just a gut reaction, oh no.
Well, we
Not
all
think
do it.
about it.
Even, I mean, I said, well, that's not very feminine. I thought, well, do I really care? Because I was thinking, I put something out and said, oh, that doesn't like show my waist. And I said, does that matter? I do like I say it to myself. No,
Yeah.
what, because it's what's ingrained in you. I remember trying on a pair of shoes and my mother said they make your feet look big. I said my feet are big. It's just gonna happen, you know, but those are old school things.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the small feet were what you were supposed to
Yeah.
have or whatever. Okay, so that was our, so do you have to vote on that to close the library, or am I just telling you that? I don't know what the deal is with,
With the.
to close for professional development day, and we're gonna spend money on lunch.
I guess
too.
it doesn't hurt. I'll make a motion.
You need a
to approve
budget?
professional
Close.
development library.
Right, and we will be providing lunch for.
All right, and I will second, and the lunch will come out of, one of the.
I think it has to come out of the Dunham account,
Yeah.
other's
Did
be
that-
gifting
you did
public
that
funds.
before, yeah.
So
Lunch.
lunch will be
How much are we getting in fun anyway?
enough for lunch. I have to, actually, it's right here.
I just
Account.
wonder how much is.
I don't know, I can find it, it's in the Burgundy,
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
and it's in the one, it's an Adirondack Bank account, and it says,
Donner's Public, no,
there's three of them.
yeah.
Shar, do you know which account it is?
Dunham account, the one that ends in 5937.
5937. So it's the next, must be one of the other ones. What are you? Yes, it's just one of those. 80, 60,000, 100,000.
It is also in a
Keep
CD.
putting money into it.
We just stay, we don't spend it ever.
I know, but I just wonder.
Well, nobody puts money into it.
That's what I mean.
How do we get money in there, Shar?
There's also
Oh,
a
I guess
CD
it's
that
in,
is,
It was in
There's a-
doubt, right?
Right.
it was the original money, and we just have never
I
really,
just wonder how much. is left
Donner Memorial Fund,
that's
After all these years and.
$31,000.
31,000.
yes, there's actually two accounts that are for the Dunham account. One
Oh,
is
okay.
in the
Yeah.
savings, which is in
We
Adirondack,
have a savings.
and another
there.
is a CD at Bank of Utica.
Well, there's a CD, that's how we get
Yeah,
money in
that's
there.
right.
CD, and we probably don't spend more than the interest, 'cause
Yeah.
you, usually once a year. The board buys us lunch when we do our professional development day.
Account.
Now, when they audit, because they.
They know,
Yeah.
everything's right out there.
Municipal crime.
I wonder how much money was originally, like 43,000.
It says it in the, it was not that much,
Well, it was 31.
but it must have grown somehow. There must have been some fundraising or
I
something,
don't remember.
because it was, I wanna say, like the house, it's in the deed.
Hmm.
I think it's on the website, if you read that. I don't keep things in my head. I just,
Because of-
it's like the vessel is full, and things trickle out.
No.
Nice.
It's like the guy, but I'm not, it's not necessary, because we have that, it's not necessary for the taxpayers to pay for something
Right.
like lunch for.
That's right.
program.
Which you would
Not
pay
that they
for.
should, because everybody, you
I
know,
know, but I think
part of the job.
we
is
have
their professional.
Yeah, it is. And there are donations that come in.
Yeah.
And we voted when the last large one came in. It's tricky though, because they'd almost, if a donation would have to be specific
Right,
to the Dunham Memorial account.
Right.
As opposed to if it comes to Dunham Public Library, it has to go in the general
right,
fund.
right.
So, yeah, it would be nice to have a foundation, should we, I kind of talked to we can, oh, it's an aside, that might be a new business or something else. But there is a way to have a foundation via the community foundation. Say somebody says, oh, I've got a lot of AT&T stock and I'm gonna donate that to you when I die, and then said person dies. We have to currently liquidate all of that stock. We can't accept anything but cash.
Oh,
So if we had a way through the community foundation and we could set something up with them, and it says it's basically a foundation and they manage it for us, and all the money that goes into that would come to us.
mhm.
It would just be
Yeah,
a filter. So then all the, I don't know, dividends, is that what it would be called, from the stock, we would just leave it there and we would only take dividends into, say, our operating budget on an annual basis, whatever that would be. Or we could, or you guys could, I think, I don't know all of this, I'm not gonna pretend I know all of this about finances. It's complicated, because I was talking to somebody who was all excited about what, I said, no, we're not an association library, we're a municipality, you know, it's tricky, because we are a 501c3, but we're also a government.
Yeah.
So we have to do different things, but the community, if somebody doesn't donate to us, they donate to the community foundation to benefit us. It's out of our hands.
Yeah.
So that would be just donations trickling in.
Yeah.
From them, but not,
but we use the Dunham account for things that we.
just when you go to dinner, yeah,
We
just
don't account anyway.
small, so you do not have to with that,
That's why, but-
Yeah,
because that's private money.
it has nothing to do.
It gets donated,
Which is a-
it gets donated,
We're lucky.
yeah.
Okay. We have
Kind of went off on a tangent there.
Do we have new business?
I don't know, there was a lot of business in there. Pam's go straighten it all
Can
out.
you-
I didn't think, I thought that wasn't anything. we-
Hello?
Hello,
Oh, you can hear me. Okay.
I can.
Back on the director's report, it says for October 11th, 2020, down at the dinner, you have me not at the dinner and Pat going, and she wasn't there.
Uh-oh. At the dinner?
What?
Pat was
You're
at the dinner?
at the miners table, the second bullet from the
Oh,
bottom.
that one.
That was sick, yeah.
Oh, right, you didn't come, yeah.
Okay, so we want to correct those minutes from back in the day?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not this meeting, that was last month.
Right, we did vote to approve those minutes. And so what have I got to say? Let's
Well,
see.
we did it before we went.
All right, I can fix it later, because you can
Well,
say
if
when,
it was, wait, if the report was before the meeting, the dinner happened, then you
Now
don't go back and
now
change.
I have to change it.
Because of how did
The
I know?
dinner was the
Because of
6th,
posting note, but I got-
hold on.
11th.
Are you talking about the director's?
Oh,
report?
my direct, because I sent it before it happened,
Right.
and so now that was what I said at the meeting. I could edit my director's report, though I don't really care.
Because the dinner was October 6th and the date of your report was October
It
11th.
was for the 11th, but I sent it out a week ahead of time. So I need the annual dinner Pat didn't go, so I'm gonna change, I can change that, that's not a problem.
I mean, at that point, I was supposed to go.
You were.
You know.
Yeah, but as of the 11th, which was, the report was. for
But
the
I didn't put-
11th was.
And
five people.
Sally, you,
So we're going,
Sally, you did go, you're right.
yep, so the
Sally and
correction,
Alan went,
And then
correction will be done.
yeah, with
Okay.
corrections or something. Sally, Alan. That's odd, though, I did that. 'Cause I knew you were going, or maybe I didn't have your reservation yet, who knows? I will put that to the top of the pile, so I remember to do it,
Okay.
because that's not hard, I can correct that myself.
Announcements or communication?
Oh, can I ask something about this, thing that we're supposed to be doing that I can't do?
Oh, right, okay, the sexual harassment prevention training, thank you for bringing that up.
I
did-
finally did it.
Did you?
I
Okay.
cannot-
So what I could do is I have the teacher's manual, but you'd have to read it all. Or you can do it
I
electronically.
did part of it though. The thing is, and then I stopped because I couldn't have time to finish. And I don't know.
And it won't let you go back
Yeah, I can't go back. Can't go
We have
back.
to do it again?
every
You have to do it every year.
It's kind of like the right to know.
How much is sex?
I mean,
I thought I was done with those.
Uh-huh.
We have to do it.
Yeah,
I don't.
basically our volunteers are supposed to do it,
Like,
everybody.
people are in private business and the only person who works for you is your spouse. You
Yeah.
have to do it.
You have to do it.
Everybody does.
Now, who decided that?
Well, you have to know that the delivery man can't, like, you know,
State budget
be
bill that
inappropriate.
they passed and nobody
One of
knew
those
about
things
it.
that everybody put down in the fine print, people like, yes, yes, whatever.
And it was passed with no notice to people,
Yeah.
and then, I mean,
You get
that
treated
was
the
one
way
of our
you
church, and we found out you have to have this done basically
Churches.
next month.
Well, yeah,
You
it was
know,
quick,
and so
and we were
were
able to
ready.
do it, fortunately.
So what do I do? Because I can't go, I started it, I didn't have time to finish it. Now I
Okay.
can't go back and do anything.
I can go upstairs, I'll run upstairs and I'll get you the book and you can scoot through it. You've been through it before.
Yeah.
You can, what you can do, you don't have to print the certificate for me, which if you have a certificate, I would like to have a copy. But I will, thank you. I'm
Is
gonna,
it still available online?
yeah, you could just go into, you
Probably
just go
Dennis
into the
could
Niche Academy. Actually, if you go into Niche Academy, it may have saved it. I'm surprised it won't let you back in. But
I got.
You don't worry
I
about
got
it, don't
5
worry.
minutes To do it, and I've already started it. I don't know.
okay, it's shorter in Niche Academy than it was. The first year you do it, it's longer. It seems to be a little less because it seems to understand that you were there before. But what you need to know that, so staff take it, and then staff that are supervisors, such as myself, or someone who has the ability to change somebody's work schedule, like say, you could be a jerk, like, you know, you have to work 5 to 8 every day, and it's difficult for somebody to work 5 to 8. You could, anyway, you could do something. You guys could do something inappropriate because you're in a power position, right? But you don't have to get the certificate from Niche Academy. We can do it on our own like we did the first time. And you can just go through and I can get you a document that says, and basically what you would do is you say, I took the sexual harassment training and I signed that I did such. You know, it's just an on your
I
honor.
didn't get a certificate from doing it, so I don't know how you
You know where it says the print certificate.
Oh, I
No worries.
didn't see that.
You know what I gotta
And it
do?
wasn't-
I will bring that paper. I will send it
Right.
electronically. I'll find one. I mean, I don't know. There's a
And I
statement that says,
Sure,
I
who were the people to notify? I put you and Sue,
that's perfect.
because that should be part of the policy, which
Yes,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Which
different.
says
We
who are the-
know,
who are
the
the people
staff,
you report
yeah.
to?
actually, it's anybody. It's literally anybody you feel comfortable with. I don't really know, like,
Yeah.
our staff would be, I think you need to tell another trustee. For example, our staff, if they're having problems with me, they need to tell you, right? So people need to understand that. So they have a list of all of you.
Well, it asks
And
for
your
what the chain
contact
of
information.
command was.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, and in a
so
way, you could
kind
talk
of-
to Wanda if you, for what I put that, but you guys could handle
And
it.
like at church, we have 2 designated people, and if it's So if it involved this person, you would talk to
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
else
yeah.
or.
But sometimes even you feel comfortable telling your friend and then that person is the one who
Right, right.
reports on your
And then,
behalf.
right, that person would eventually go to one of the people
Right.
designated to receive the complaint.
Very good.
Okay.
So I think the staff's got it.
But I wasn't sure if I answered the questions wrong or. that
It's
would
that
mean that I
usually it'll
was-
say, okay, you got
Yeah,
10
so
out of
that part
10.
of it was just,
Yeah.
that was.
Oh,
just when
the-
you're typing an answer.
short
at the
answer.
end, It was yes.
Got it. I would say,
So
okay,
that's what I-
we're
when
just
it
making
said-
this up, I would say. And you may agree
Yeah.
with me that you would tell one another,
Yeah.
just
Right.
tell, you might feel
Yeah.
comfortable saying to Nandra,
Yeah,
like.
but I didn't know what.
Cat
we did
Samarco's
the
been
official
really,
policy
inappropriate
that
with
were-
me.
And I didn't know if.
I didn't think that, we're very recorded.
If the answers were related to the specific policy and,
Where is
and
it?
also you said the policy was available to staff,
It is.
but shouldn't the policy, doesn't
It'd
the
be
policy
available
have to
to
be
you.
available to users of the library and everybody?
Maybe.
That's my.
And so we
understanding
think that
from
maybe
my
our sexual
experience
harassment
on church.
prevention policy, who they would talk to.
Because I've been involved with creating the policy at our church, and I thought it said it had to be
On our website.
accessible, and you have to have something posted that says who to contact, because we're also protecting people who use the library, and they should know who to contact. And
This is a good thing.
Already is that.
well, they can also, that's another part of the,
Yeah.
the thing, is that you can contact law enforcement,
Right.
but not all of these things would be crimes necessarily. Like somebody leaning over you and being too close to you at the computer might not be considered a crime yet,
It's just annoying.
but that would be something that you would go to the
Right.
person in your library,
Yeah,
and maybe
say, yeah.
a supervisor would speak to that person or whatever.
Right.
So,
And but
anyway,
we've had patrons who brushed up against pages and like more than once. It wasn't just like
doesn't
they
seem
did.
accidental.
It wasn't accidental, so we've had issues with
Mhm.
patrons being inappropriate and we've
Mhm.
had to chat and all of that. But policy,
Yeah, check on that.
policy,
Mm-hmm.
because we do have it electronically, but
Mhm.
on website.
But isn't that the one where, they give you the answer, or not the answer, but I might have disagreed with it.
You
Not
disagreed
that
with
it
the,
was- It comes out like. I think this, when I.
The scenario.
when I said, I did part of it, right?
okay,
Okay, so let's say there's an answer. And mine is different from what they,
right,
What they want you to say.
there,
That's all legal stuff. That's
Right.
from New York State's
Yeah.
rules on the sexual harassment.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
not, those were not, because like I said. I
They
go
weren't
through
really
all this, but
negotiable.
Those weren't done public library rules.
No.
That was
That was somebody
what is
decided that,
considered from,
Yeah.
according to New York State.
and even we may not agree with it, but that's the second point, we're taking this course. and
yeah,
we have to-
well, they give you like a scenario.
Yeah.
yes, the scenario, and those scenarios are
Right.
right. And as I said, the one that was the kind of, there's a few that stand out when you first read them and go, wow.
Yeah, right.
And so there was a gentleman who wanted to wear jewelry and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. I said, well, if Dennis decides he wants to come in dressed like Klinger, he can, because Janae can come in and she can wear like a dress and she can wear beads. So if she
Mhm.
can wear a dress and beads, Dennis can wear a dress and beads.
If it's a safety issue, that's different.
Right,
Yeah.
but if you want people to dress in a certain way, then you have to have dress code like Target.
Mhm.
You go in and you got your golf
Right.
shirt and you got your khakis on, but we just dress in however we want to. And it's okay,
Do we have a dress code?
No.
not really, just you have to wear clothing that have a
Professional.
judgment call, like you can't have something like some of the flags that are flying,
Yeah.
inappropriate things.
I mean, like the high school did.
We don't really, we haven't really had a problem, it's, there is something in the policy manual, but basically make sure that
you know, somehow you're dressed professionally. whatever
in a
that
way,
means,
you
yeah.
want to be approachable, but you want to make sure certain parts are covered. It's just one of those.
No,
People seem to be pulling
Like the
it.
time I was subbing after I retired and asked one of the young girls the dress code because I wasn't sure. It was elementary
Yeah.
school. I never worked in elementary school. And I said, could you tell me what the dress code is? And she said, no navels. I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
Wonderful.
And, right, great, that kind of
Great.
thing.
I remember
You just
people
wanna
talking
make
about
sure that
Ray Robert
what
being
you
so-
wear,
And like,
You can do your job
you know. he
and
was-
you're not
they were
offended,
wearing pants.
right?
Everybody's
And
wearing-
it's just one of those.
Like the mini skirts better.
But I was teaching,
Do it.
when I was teaching college, I had a dress code for my senior, that they couldn't, because when they lean, because I showed them pictures when they're leaning over talking to children and you got something low on.
Yeah.
You know, so I had a dress code. Yeah. Now, I don't know if it's legal anymore to have such a thing,
It's
but the
amazing
guys
what-
got to wear pants and shirt and tie, you know. that-
Right, and you really can't tell people that anymore. Unless you're in a, oh, well, and,
Well, it has to be like, yeah,
right, and like if you've got tattoos that might be offensive, then you need to cover them.
Yeah.
But if you have just normal like sunflowers or something, like then nobody,
yeah.
it's
Well,
not
I
a
thought
problem.
if it's distracting to the students and the
Yeah.
teachers with their education, then they should.
But it's not.
There's a lot.
This is public, you know.
Holder.
No, but nowadays-
So I'm putting in that,
I just got
that, we trustees need to do the yearly training on the Beach Academy.
Finish or just
Or
sign that they
finish it.
have done so.
And,
But so I'm gonna, there's also coming next year.
And that we talked about, should the policy be posted and available? to
Okay,
take
yes,
notes of
policy on
everybody as
website.
well. So that's going in. under-
But also there's going to be a requirement, and this doesn't count, by the way, 2 years of professional development hours for trustees. And I believe it should be by the end of our fiscal
How
year.
many hours?
Two
2 hours per year?
2 hours per year.
Because you said 2 years of professional development hours. So I was like-
We'll never get anybody, sorry, I misspoke, 2 hours per year. Wait,
And who's offering that? Did something else?
we will have to do something, there are niche academy things.
Okay.
And when does that start?
A lot of times there's things, I think, Rebecca Smith Aldridge will do those things, like the
those
Robert's
things
Rule of
we
Order
found
would have
out.
counted.
Well, there
Or-
were some things advertised online that
Yes.
I mean, they were not relevant.
And the
Or-
ones
I
on the
mean,
hand.
what about-
Yes, the handbook ones, and they're actually pretty good.
Friends associations and stuff.
Okay.
I
There
really
aren't,
need to do
there
that.
are not trustee police, but the thing is, if you sign up for one of these online things,
Yeah.
you just listen
You
and
can
then get
find one
through,
that
and
is
then
relevant.
what it is that you would do is you would say, okay, yep, I did the 2 hours and this is the class I took, and then we'll just keep it.
So we would just report to the.
But you just keep it in-house, there's nothing that
I
goes,
did it around New York,
you did.
yeah.
So Mid-York offers
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
I
that was all of it.
think it might happen again,
Yeah.
right, because this is the requirement now.
Good, so I can be clear, Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
So April.
Yeah.
When is this starting, or do we know yet? Or-
It is starting, I mean, I will have to, it's starting in January, because they were talking about that at NILA. And I think it'll end up not on the annual report this year, but probably on the.
Okay, so next year, in the
Yeah.
year 2023, we're gonna have to have 2 hours.
Yeah, did you go to New York for any training?
No, because they joined when
I-
COVID.
Oh,
they
I
couldn't have
went-
it on.
I did all of the trustee
So that you're
handbook,
done.
continuing
Oh,
and
yeah,
things,
I wanted to go to meetings for the-
I went on Zoom and did them.
Right.
I remember.
So if you do that,
Okay.
you could do
All
that.
right, to go back to those, I'm gonna go online again and see if I can get. that.
Try that, but I could send you home with the book. You know, what I mean, I'll
I
get
feel
it
like
before you.
I should, by the way, I finished it. that-
Try going online.
But the booklet, you can read through, it's big, because they're PowerPoint slides.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it's the
I'll
same
just go get
thing,
it.
but it's.
We're done,
printed
yeah.
Out, right?
Yeah.
Wait, do we have any other, that was the new business, no announcements, no
No
communication,
public comment.
No public
executive
comment.
session.
no executive session, I'll tell you later, but no.
No.
I'm kidding. It's being recorded. I was joking. We're not supposed to joke.
No, I don't see why. I gotta see that rule. Adjournment, I will move that the meeting adjourn at 7:01.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna go get
I
my
will
book
second
read
that.
fast, and then you can take it home and read it.
Okay, and then maybe a long time to take that.
What?
How, was it a long time?
It was, I don't know, there were several,
Cause I stopped it, I should have.
there were several, different Zoom meetings. They were each an hour long.
For the sexual risk.
No, the sexual harassment one I was talking about, I was talking about the other one. No, because I scrolled through and went to the questions. I just kept clicking next and
Yeah.
didn't read all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
And then, I mean, like I said, I